My name is Jenny, and I'm a full-time educator in the state of New Jersey. I'm so excited to share with you Goldwell's Color Zoom Trend 2014 Reallusion. Reallusion is all about creating optical illusions within the hair. Using subtle elements of surprise and fascinating reflections, they've created looks that ask questions like real or fake, bold or subtle, natural or artificial. The way to create these looks is through a series of prisms within a kaleidoscope sectioning. Imagine that you're looking through a kaleidoscope right now. As it turns, imagine the shapes that get larger and smaller and disappear. Imagine the colors that get brighter and then disappear right before your eyes. Now imagine movement within the hair. Imagine bold blocks of color that dissipate into subtle highlights, or imagine a dramatic fringe that just as dramatically disappears into a hairstyle. Coming up, I have decided to showcase two looks, the Corinna and a new, for you guys. I'm going to show you sectioning and placement techniques as well as the finished completed look. I hope you enjoy. Hello, I have here my model who is going to be my Corinna technique. And I'm going to give you a better understanding and a visualization of what a kaleidoscope sectioning looks like and what the prisms within that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and start sectioning her out by creating a triangle or a prism right on the top of the head, starting right here in this section. And you're going to take this back to the crown and then cut the triangle off right there. The thing that I love so much about this whole collection is how versatile it is and how you can really customize it to any client's needs by changing the size, the amount, and the placement of your prisms within your kaleidoscope sectioning. So we're starting off, let me show you, with this first triangular prism shape on the top of the head. From there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the hairline actually as the long side of the triangular prism on the side of the temple. And we're going to take that right back to where the line ended at the first prism so that they meet. And tuck it in tight. Now from there, we're creating our second sectioning, or third sectioning, I'm sorry. And then we're going to go inside to the other side and do the same thing. Almost mirroring that image. I can't wait for you to see the finished look so that you can see how, just by parting the hair one way and then moving it in a different direction, how it shows off a totally different style or look, or a completely different color, really, in most cases. off this last prism. Tighter for you so that you could really see what it looks like. Alright. And this is what your sectioning should look like when it's all finished. And that is the Corinna kaleidoscope. Now I'm going to show you foil placement for section 2, which is the prism right over here by the temple. And here I'm alternating two different formulas of our Reallusion Sparkling Brown 5BV and a formula of 6RR Max, 4R, and 700 Max. And within these foils, I'm using thermal foils, by the way, and I'm going to be alternating micro weaves with micro slices. Now, of course, you can alternate how you apply the color in terms of doing macro slices, micro weaves, and that will give you, a more bold look as opposed to a micro slice or a micro weave. And we're continuing with full color saturation throughout. So we're doing 2 micro slices back to back with your 6RR, 700, 4R mixture and then you're going back in with your 5BV in your slice. Nice clean partings always. And I'm compact foiling, which means I am using my my top foil of my previous section as my bottom foil. The thermal papers are really nice to work with because you can see through them for one thing, so it's a little bit easier to figure out what color you're doing if you're alternating 2 different colors. And they also roll up really nicely when you are putting your background color in. So I just did 2 micro weaves. So now I'm taking a micro slice. I'm loving the new Reallusion Sparkling Brown 5BV. I did it on my own hand personally. bubbling up through this entire section. In case you're not familiar with this technique, within this weave, within this one slice, this one micro slice, I am weaving out so that my bottom weave is one color, so it's actually each shade falls within the same micro slice. So my bottom weave will be my 5BV, and my top weave will be my Max Red mixture. So this is my final alternating micro slices for this prism. So once you've completed alternating these two formulas in this prism, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the opposite side that mirrors this and do the same two formulas alternating with micro slices and micro weaves and a micro slice. And I'm going to do that again in this prism. And then when I get to the back two prisms, I'm going to alternate the Sparkling Brown 5BV and Silk Lift High Performance Lightener. Then when that's completed, I'm going to do the entire background with our 5BV. Let it process, and then cut her, and I'll bring it back. While my Corinna model is processing, I thought I would show you a new technique, all finished and completed. I will show you the color first, which I think is absolutely beautiful and really shows off the concept of the Reallusion technique and the Reallusion concept, which is, starting off subtle like this, and then as you move the hair around, you get a completely different look or a completely different color. And I hope you guys can see that, how beautiful it is. Do you see that big, nice, bold block of color there? It's really pretty. And what I used there for that accent is, I actually used 20 milliliters of 3% or 10 volume, and 10 milliliters of 10V, 5 milliliters of 4V, and 5 milliliters of 8SB. And I think it really created a beautiful, cool violet accent within the hair, that when the hair moves, you can really see something going on there. And her base is the new Color Zoom Peachy Beige 10BB in Colorants, which is nice and warm and really, really beautiful blonde shade, beige. As for the haircut that I did on her, I just went around the perimeter and keeping her at 0 degrees to get the length where we wanted it. And then I went through and using prism sections actually in the hair cutting technique too, I sectioned her, held her at about 90 degrees, and just did some point cutting. So as you can see, I did a small prism shape, pulled it out, did some basic point cutting, and I did that throughout the entire head to take weight out of the bottom of the hair. So it's still keeping at the 90 degrees. And this way we took the weight out and gave her a nice smooth and silky straight look, which works really well with this color technique. After I blew her out, I flat ironed her, and I used Sleek Perfection to flat iron, and then I did a little bit of Diamond Gloss spray just to give her some shine and to really smooth out that cuticle. So this is the anew finish technique. And I think it's really beautiful, and I hope you do too. Here we have the finished, completed Corinna look that I'm very excited about, and I'm really happy with the end results. As you could see, that 5BV sparkling brown is really beautiful and reflecting a lot of light and really shiny. And what's fun about it, as you go through and lift the hair, you can see, here, let me turn her a bit so you can see how beautiful these highlights are underneath that we did. As you move the hair forward and back, with the movement of the hair, you see something different sparkling, right? Let's turn her again. Let's look at the back here. You can really see those highlights when I lift it up in there. Really pretty. And I think this cut goes really nicely with this color combination. And same thing, right? I went in and I determined the length, which obviously is pretty short. So we took a lot off the length there, and I went in with my prism sectioning and used a lot of point cutting so that it fell under really beautifully around her face. I angled her just a bit. But we wanted to keep that length in there in case we wanted to do an alternate style, which is also a part of the whole Reallusion collection. There's 2 different styles for each cut, for each color combination. And the one for Corinna is really beautiful, and it's all kind of slicked back and lifted up high, which is very pretty. And for that, you would need to keep that length in there around her face, which I really love. So I think she came really well. Love the Corinna, love the anew. I hope you guys love both techniques as much as I do. And let's just recap for a second what we talked about. We talked about prisms. We talked about the whole kaleidoscope technique. We talked about the fact that the way and where you place your prisms within the hair can determine how bold or how subtle the overall look will be. And it's really fun to be able to look at the hair and see one thing, and then when you go back in and part it in a different way, see something a little bit different. So I hope that you take what you've learned and you take these techniques back to the salon, and it will leave everyone asking the question, is it real or is it an illusion? Thank you.